Hello everyone, my name is Arun Poddar. So today I am going to discuss about unit number 5, coding and testing, lecture number 44. Now the contents that we are going to discuss in this video is the testing concepts, errors, fault and failure, test case. Now let us discuss the testing concepts. Now software testing is an activity performed to uncover the errors or remove the errors. It's a critical element of software quality assurance and represents the ultimate review of specification, design and coding. Now the purpose of software testing is to ensure whether the software functions appear to be working according to the specification and performance requirement. Now the main aim of the testing will be whether the software is working according to the requirements that had been given during the requirement phase. So it is checked with the software requirement specification as well as the performance requirements, so whether the software is working according to the requirements or not. The goals of testing here is it is the process of executing the program with the intent of finding error. Now the main aim of testing is to find the error. A good test case is one that has high probability of finding an undiscovered error. You will call a test case as a good test case only when you find an error which is very difficult to find or very difficult to find that error. So if you are able to find that error using that test case, that is called as a good test case. A successful test is one that uncovers as an yet undiscovered error. Now what is error, fault and failure? Now what is an error? So error refers to the difference between the actual output of the software and correct output of the software. Hence error is the measure of difference between actual and ideal. Now suppose if there are two types of outputs, expected as well as the actual output. Now the correct output, or you can say the expected output, is one which we are expecting when we enter the inputs, and actual output is one which we get when we enter the inputs by entering the inputs. So if the actual output and the correct output are not matching, they are different, which means it is an error in the program. Next is what is fault. So fault is a condition which causes a system to fail in performing the required functionality. So if it is finding, if the system is failing to perform the required functionality, then there is a fault in any software. So any software has only one kind of fault, and that is the design fault. So the fault, if there is a fault in the system, then the entire system will fail the functionality. Next is failure. Now failure is the inability of the system of performing the required functionality as per the specification. Now if the specification is different and if the system is performing different other than specification, that is, it's behaving different other than specified in the specification, then it is said that the failure has occurred in the system. So failure will occur only when there is a fault in the system, but the presence of fault will not guarantee the failure. So fault will always not guarantee that there is a failure. So on observing the failure, we can say that fault may exist in the system, but it is not 100% guarantee that there is a fault in the program. But on observing the failure, we cannot say that faults are not present in the system. So failure will not depend on the fault. Now what is a test case? So test case is nothing but a document that contains a set of test data, expected result, actual results, and precondition and post condition. So it's always developed for a particular test scenario to verify whether customer requirements are getting satisfied by the system or not. So each test case will contains a columns containing a data, expected results, actual results, and precondition and post condition. So this will help to determine whether the customer are being satisfied with the requirements. So it acts as a starting point for test execution. Now after giving the set of input values, the application has a definite outcome and leaves the system at some endpoint. So this point represents the execution post condition. Now in this video we have discussed about the concepts of testing and what is error, test and failure, and what is test case. Thank you.